Or you know what's wrong with Karate Jerry? It's based on the ridiculous assumption that the other guy will fight fair. Jim Rockford. The convolution sum of probability distributions arises in probability theory and statistics as the operation in terms of probability distributions that corresponds to the addition of independent random variables and, by extension, to forming linear combinations of random variables. The operation here is a special case of convolution in the context of probability distributions. We've got a problem here. And how does this intricate mathematical handiwork align with the fate of the Prince William Symphony Orchestra conductor? Matthias Jones does not need to matriculate in Hamilton College's Advanced Probability and Statistics course to understand that the death of Professor Nussbaum was unusual. He just has to move forward with his side road theories. It all started when he was about to drive over to his summer baseball camp at the college. The Plumbers, more Hamilton crazy characters, Mookie and Cookie, are tearing apart Jones's house and eating his food trying to fix what Mookie calls APS antiquated plumbing system. And then Lark Larsen was on the road again, driving like a maniac because Professor Nussbaum had not yet paid back $10,000 that the cheap Lark had loaned him to purchase a new Steinway piano. His buddy and coach from Newtown, Mac Connors, is running the camp with Jones. Mac hits a couple of practice home runs near the conservatory in left field. Mac complains that Bucky Driscoll gave him a parking ticket earlier and threatened to tow his car. Then Arnie Dewar shows up, needling Jones and bragging about funding the camp for the summer. Lark races into the conservatory parking lot and recklessly slides his bomber into the parking space. A short time later, a gunshot echoes and Jones sprints toward the conservatory. After a second gunshot, Bucky's dented security car arrives at the conservatory as Lark fishtails up Hamilton Street. Bucky won't let Jones into the conservatory as he claims there has been a murder. Jones calls Strickland. The Maestro's loyal German Shepherd is sitting next to his fallen master. Arnie tries to get inside and the dog growls and lunges at him. Bucky claims he is in charge of the murder investigation even though he has no authority. Police Chief George Strickland hurries to the conservatory with more police. Bucky asserts Lark killed the Maestro. Strickland and Jones find all the windows and doors locked. Later that afternoon, the publicity hound District Attorney Herbert Lane holds a news conference stating that Nussbaum was shot through the heart, and Lark is under arrest after he causes a 35-car backup on the interstate. Bucky was already questioning Mrs. Nussbaum and the daughter even though they were not aware that the Maestro had been killed. Let's bring this fiasco to a blinding stop. Having at least 3 suspects early is a good idea. Steve Corbett, son-in-law of the Maestro, a man who suffered traumatic head injury, was working as a custodian in the adjacent building on the morning Nussbaum was murdered. Nussbaum hated Corbett. Friendly Mick Dumas, who works by night with his Mick Dumas trio, will not be returning to his classes at the college because of a poor recommendation by Nussbaum. Lark had a gun and was in the building near the time of the first shot, and then a second shot was fired a minute later. The bullet nowhere in sight. Nussbaum was killed by 1 bullet, and Lark has tested positive for firing a gun. Then it is learned that Lenore Picada, wife of Prince William Mayor Picada, was extremely close to Nussbaum. So, we have 4 suspects, count them, 4 suspects. And one of these suspects, all of whom have a grievance with Nussbaum, murdered the Maestro early on a summer's morning inside the conservatory. Jones, not being an officer of the law, has its drawbacks, not just to total access of the official investigation, but he is bombarded with theories by the wacky Hamilton locals that impede his efforts to find Nussbaum's killer. These locals with their unique points of view and clumsy theories become a staple of the Jones stories. Lark's excitable personality is quite evident when he is charged with murder as he keeps ranting that he is doomed. Doomed. The goofy Deputy Wendell is consistently a klutzy girl crazy goof. The assistant district attorney, the cologne, reeking, egocentric, ambitious Roland Chance has an answer for everything. Mookie and Cookie are passing characters because of their comedic intensity. The old saying a little goes a long way is in effect here. Coco is a quite different matter. He is a linchpin connected with the story's characters, in the same way as Hamilton Fletcher. As far as tracking down the killer, Jim Rockford's reference to fighting fair and apropos in this circumstance. The killer did not fight fair, which made it difficult to ascertain the identity of the murderer. Another staple of the Jones series becomes the climatic confrontation with the killer at the end. And the end of Funeral March for the Maestro is a doozy. The Funeral March for the Maestro by Robert P. Fitton is sold at Amazon in paperback, and the audiobook is available at Audible. I should fancy, however, that murder is always a mistake. One should never do anything that one cannot talk about after dinner. Oscar Wilde, The Picture of Dorian Gray.